Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Pre-Market News and Views by In the Money Stocks. Today is Wednesday, February 22nd, 2012. Let's get right into the charts here. There's a lot to cover. First, we're going to start off with the S&P 500 Emini Futures. You will see that they are trading lower by about 3.5 points this morning to around the 1356 level. Again, futures coming under a little pressure. It looks like around 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning, they started to decline. They were trading as high as 1364 in the overnight session. However, now trading around the 1357 level. That tells us one thing: the U.S. dollar index probably caught a bid. And sure enough, let's take a look at the chart. You could see right here, 2 o'clock, 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning, the dollar starts to move higher. Right now, the dollar is trading at 79.39 per contract on the U.S. dollar index futures. Sure enough, when you get a higher dollar, you get a weaker market. Now, the big question is going to be, as it is every single day, will the dollar fade or fall once the opening bell rings at the New York Stock Exchange at 9:30? So we'll have to wait and see how it plays out and shakes out. But right now, the dollar is catching a nice little bid, trading higher by 25 cents this morning. Higher dollar, lower market. It's just that cut and dry. Now, if we take a look at spot crude, you'll see that crude is trading down today by about 35 cents, I believe, to the 105.90 level. If you take a look at the USO this morning, you'll see the USO is trading down just ever so slightly, really a non-effect at the moment. Now, if the dollar gets stronger, that will help push oil lower. However, you do have some geopolitical events that are priced into the market right now, helping to keep a premium in the price of crude at the moment. So that's what we're dealing with when you have the crude market. But if that dollar moves higher, you're going to see not only the stock market come down, but you will see oil prices come down, gasoline prices will come down, and you'll also see many of the metals come down, including gold and silver. Let's take a look at the GLD this morning. Since we do see a higher price in the dollar, look at gold, how gold is coming in. Gold is a perfect indicator of inflation and deflation. This morning you're seeing gold deflate a little bit. Yesterday the GLD closed at 171. Today it's trading at 170.13, down about $1 from yesterday's close, and all on the back of the stronger U.S. dollar index. So if the dollar is stronger, you'll see everything start to deflate. That's just the way it works. This whole entire market is just all about inflation and deflation. I know you hear a lot of the fundamental news and all that nonsense, but it's all about the dollar, in my opinion. Okay, let's take a look at a couple of other things. I just want to briefly talk about the Asian markets quickly. Last night, you had all of the Asian markets trading higher. The Shanghai index, which is the most important in my opinion, finished higher by about 1%. Make that 9/10 of 1%, very close to 1%, but a good little move there. Now, the problem that I think that occurred in Asia last night was really more or less in India. India was down, I think, 1.5%, nearly 300 points last night on the Sensex. And that will tell us that the Indian Asia ADRs should be watched today. So stocks like Tata Motors could come under pressure. Infosys is another one. And you also could watch for a little sell-off in the IFN, and that's the India Fund. So watch for weakness there in many of the Indian ADRs, because you did have a pretty decent sell-off last night in the Sensex. Okay, so just watch the Asian markets. Chinese ADRs did show weakness last night. If the U.S. markets are weak today, by some chance, and that's a big long shot, then we would see some weakness in the Chinese ADRs. However, the Indian ADRs, I do expect them to be a little bit on the weaker side today. All right, let's take a look at a lot of stocks here. We have a few stocks in motion. We're going to start off with Garmin. GRMN is the ticker symbol. The stock is gapping up. I think it's a fade candidate at 50, 51. So right around the open, see if it could push up a little bit. But I think Garmin is a fade candidate. Stock has had a great run, but it's overcooked here by every measurement that I could see. I think Garmin is a decent fade candidate this morning. Again, it's always earnings, so you want to be a little bit careful. But I think there's pretty good resistance here around the 50, 51 level. Then there's going to be actually more resistance around 55. But nonetheless, Garmin a little bit overcooked here in my opinion. Let's take a look at Dell Computer. Dell is selling off this morning. Good little sell-off on Dell Computer. I was working out some little levels before I got on the mic this morning. I came up with 1575, 1585, right in that area. Dell will have some short-term support. So I think Dell still has another dollar to the downside from where it is now, currently trading at 16.95. Gets down to around 15.85, 15.90. Watch for a bounce around that level, but this is a real gap down and a strong one. I expect it to get down to that 15.75, 15.85 area. Let's take a look at Intuit. Ticker symbol INTU. Stock is having a real good day. Nothing wrong here with the stock. Pretty strong right now. It's at 59.50. It's going to have some. There will be some resistance up there for Intuit around this area, but you probably watch the $60 level. I'm not sure you want to fade this one though. This looks like a decent gap. It's not that strong, but it is a decent gap up. Let's take a look at Cheesecake Factory, everybody's favorite eatery. Here, Cheesecake Factory is getting hit a little bit this morning. Stock closed at $31.57, trading at $30.25. They reported earnings that were a little bit worse than expected, I assume. I'm not sure. I don't look into the earnings reports. But the stock will have a little bit of support around the 30 area. After that, it's really 29 bucks. 29 looks like a lot of support for Cheesecake Factory, but it is a strong gap lower. But $29 looks like a real decent level. A little bit lower than that, you'll have 28.80. So right in that area, that's probably where Cheesecake Factory, ticker symbol cake, is going to find a little bit of a bounce and possibly some decent support in the short term. Let's take a look at Toll Brothers today. Luxury home builder. Stock is getting hit this morning. Closed at $23.97. Trading right now at 23 bucks. The stock is going to have a little bit of short-term support around 22, and then it's really down to 21.38. That could be a bounce area. This is a strong gap down, so always be a little bit careful. If the market sells off by some chance, and I'm not sure that will happen, this stock could ultimately trade lower. But fair amount of support, in my opinion, from my calculations, 21.38. Okay, so watch for pretty good support right in that area. There are probably a few more stocks out there, but those are the ones that I had a chance to look at this morning. I want to wish you all a great trading day, and I will see you all tomorrow. Have a great day, everyone.